Hello everyone, it's Amy, and I just thought I'd show you what I was up to yesterday. I decided to make myself some more stencils because I love stencils and they're very expensive. And so I just thought that I would show some of you out there, especially if you're just starting and you don't have any and you want some, how you can make your own really easily. What I do is whenever I buy any kind of product or whatever, if it has a nice heavy acetate on it, I save that acetate. I just cut it into whatever size square I can get out of it, rectangle, whatever, and then I just pile that up and I keep that because you can use it for a lot of different things. So I use my acetate and I use my heavy cutting dies. And these are the cutting dies that have the razor blade underneath the foam. You can't do this with, not on acetate, you can't do it with the flat dies. But, like this is a snowflake die, and some musical notes I did. And you can use any size. This one has a couple of balloons on it. And even if you have the larger ones where you think, well, that won't work, I can't fit too many on there, you can just use it as a single stencil. So this is what I use to make my stencils. And here are some of the stencils that I made. So I made these balloons, and this is what it looks like when you stencil through it. I had blue paint, so they're just all blue. And then this is the acetate that I cut. And I just put my balloon die on there, first one way and then the other, just to give it some contrast. And yeah, that's what I did. Now, this one I wanted to make a whole longer sheet, but for some reason, every time I kept cutting, it was splitting. Well, even here, it split my acetate right there, and I'm not sure why. But it doesn't matter. It worked just fine, and except that that's as large as I could get that one. So, and then what I do is I stencil through it, and then when I put them in the folder, I put them in like this. It keeps them from getting stuck together because, you know, when you put stencils next to each other, they want to grab onto each other. So this keeps them separate, and it also lets me know what my stencil looks like. So I made those balloons, and then I made this beautiful sun, and I really love that one. And see, that's just a single die, but it really looks pretty, and that would look really nice on a project. Now you can put modeling paste through that or something and make your sun raised. I did one in leaves, and these are my leaves. And again, I just took two different types of leaves. I had like a maple leaf and a rounded leaf. And I just, you have to make sure that you put them different ways. Don't like line them up. Spread them around. If you can't fill every little piece of acetate, that's okay. I don't go off the edge because it kind of makes the acetate a little bit weaker. But you could do that if you wanted to. And then here is the snowflakes that I did. And again, there's my die for that one. Now I wanted some circles or some ovals. I had circles. I wanted ovals. So I went into my computer and I drew these ovals. And then with this one, I used my wood burner and I just cut it like this. And before I actually had any of the heavy dies and had my cutting machine, all the stencils that I made for myself, I made with acetate and my wood burner. So you can do it that way too. You just make a pattern, stick it underneath glass, and then just put your acetate on top. I guess it goes this way. And then just burn around your pattern. And so that's what I did for that one. So you don't have to have the heavy cutter to make these. I made some flowers. I really love these leaves. I thought that one turned out beautiful. I love this one too. Musical notes. And just remember, every which way, mix them up. Turn them this way and that way and upside down. And then when you're all done with that, you're going to have all your little pieces of plastic that you cut out left. Don't throw them away because you can use those for other projects. And if you have alcohol inks, you just can use your alcohol inks and color them up. And now you can put these on different projects. Apologize about the glare. My lighting's never that good, but that's because I have to film before Grandpa gets up. Otherwise, I just don't have time usually. So, but yep, so there's a leaf, and there's one of the snowflakes, the flowers, and the balloon. And yeah, and you can punch a hole in these and put a brad through them and attach them to a project. Or you can do so many different things with them. But I just grabbed out my alcohol inks and did all different colors. and I thought that they turned out really neat. So I'll be using these on projects, and also you'll want to keep like one of each of the different things that you cut out, because then you can use them for a mask. So if you use your stencil on something and you want to put something around it, but you don't want to get your color on it, you just, let's say you wanted this balloon right here, you stamped it on your project, you set this mask on top of it, and then you can stamp all around it, and when you take this off, your bloom will be perfect just how you did it originally. So you can keep those for masks and use them also on other projects. And then I did some musical notes in like a gray and a deep purple. And then I just did everything in all different colors because I thought that was fun. Plus the fact of then I'm not going to lose them. If I want to take that off of there, rubbing alcohol will wipe that right off and I can change the color. But when they're clear, they're really hard to keep track of. So that's another reason that I color them right away. If you don't have alcohol inks like from the store, there's a ton of tutorials on how to make your own. And that's easy to do, and you can make them with Sharpie pens. My original ones that I used were homemade, and they worked perfectly, and as a matter of fact, I still use them a lot because I tend to like use the same things over and over. I don't like changing. So even though I do have regular alcohol inks now, I still use my own a lot. And then I made my own stamp. I made this feather, and I just made that out of the fun foam. And you just take the fun foam, draw out your whatever you want to stamp, and just the fun foam from the store. Now when I did this one, I drew it on a single layer, and originally I had glued like 2 layers together, and I forgot about those that I had. So I did a single layer, and then what I did was I just cut around it and put a piece behind it because a single layer is not really thick enough to get it off of your backing when you stamp. So that just lifts it up a little bit away from your background. And so yeah, so I just drew around this with the fun foam. If you press really hard, it will leave a dent that will stay. So, and then you just cut what you want your edges to look like. So here I just drew with a pen right down the center, and that got my center line. And then where I had cut, I also went around that with the pen and pressed in all around the edges to make it's cut, but then it's also dented in to make those just a little bit more distinct. And I made my own stamp. So, and this is just a scrap piece of wood that I had, so I just glued it on there. But you could even put like the tack it over and over, Eileen's tack it over and over on the back of this, and stick it to a piece of acetate and store it that way, and then you can use it on your clear blocks that you use for your other stamps. So this is just some of the things that I've been playing with, and I thought I would just come on and tell you about how you can make all of this yourself. It's a lot cheaper, and you also then get what you want. I love musical notes. I've never seen one with musical notes at the store. So now I have one with the musical notes for backgrounds or for whatever I want it for. And plus I don't have to pay. One this size at the store would probably cost somewhere around $10, $20. So, I mean, I have paid that much for different stencils, and I don't think I have any that are bigger than this. So they are quite expensive. I always get them when I get a 50% off coupon, and then I pick up one. But they're just as good to make them yourself, and you can have anything you want. So I thought I would just show you that. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm going to come back and show you some roses that I made with some inspiration from Betsy Doodle. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.